What's going on, everybody? And welcome to the Endzone, brought to you by Gym Bag Entertainment. It's the show about football by guys who love football. As always, I'm your host, Craig, and my co-host,
your boy Ace.
And we got a loaded week of football for you here today. A lot of stuff going on in the NFL. And as always, we jump right into the injury report. Devontae Adams is out another week with turf toe. I don't know how long he's going to be out for. I don't know how long turf toe usually lasts, or is it one of those things that can just...
Turf toe is one of those things that it just takes time of being off of it more, so you have a timetable. It can heal
in a day or it can heal in a month.
Yeah.
All right, well, we hope to see him back. I got him in my fantasy league. I need him very badly.
So don't come back for him.
Right? We're pining for you, man. Get healthy. Get back on the field. Tyrone Crawford, defensive lineman for the Cowboys, another player out for the Cowboys. He's got a hip injury, and they're saying out for the season for surgery. Yeah, that's terrible.
And they're saying just hip? I think it's more than something.
They said he needs hip surgery. Yikes. So, and they're saying out for the season, bro.
Yeah,
so
that's
a tough hit for them. Because they also lose Amari Cooper with a quad injury. Randall Cobb already gone. Michael Gallup just came back. This is tough. And in the game, Dak Prescott gets in concussion protocol. He returned to the game, but he was in concussion protocol.
Didn't they have two cornerbacks get hurt too, Cowboys, in that game?
Yeah. Did
both
they?
Both of their cornerbacks got hurt. Mm-hmm.
Damn. So it's just tough for them. This team is just going downhill. We'll get to that later on. Geronimo Allison goes out of the game in concussion protocol, also with a chest injury. He took a mean hit.
Got smacked.
I thought he broke his arm, to be honest with you. The way that hit came in.
I thought he broke something.
Yeah, man. I feel bad for Geronimo Allison. That was a tough one. So let's hope he recovers. Todd Gurley, missed a game this week.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Man, it's a tough
Fantasy,
one.
I need you.
Step it up, bro. Time to get healthy. Time to play some football.
And you know what? That's my bad for even taking him fantasy-wise because we done sat on this show week after week and talked about that knee. And I kept on saying there's something more deeper than that knee. And now I drafted him because he was there.
Yeah.
It's almost like you damned if you do, you damned if you don't.
Exactly. I did the same thing. I got lucky in the league I was in. I drafted Saquon Barkley #1, and Todd Gurley fell to me in the second round. You can't not draft Todd Gurley in the end of the second round. So I took him, but I am surely regretting that decision. I am surely regretting that decision. So, all right. One good thing from the injury report is N'Keal Harry is off of injury reserve. He's the first Patriots player to come off of injury reserve. He has to, I think he can come back in like 2 to 3 weeks. He can play, but he's practicing.
The whole symptom, the whole protocol. Yeah.
So he's going to be playing soon. Like to see him come back. Emmanuel Sanders, he goes down with a knee injury out of the game, but the coach says that he thinks he might be good to go in this game this coming week. So we'll see how that works out. Tough break for Seattle. Will Dissly, Achilles tear, out for the season. You know what's funny about that? In one of my other leagues, we have this dude, Mike Johnson, and he's the host of Teletape. Yo, he is the tight end killer. Every time he trades for a tight end, the tight end gets injured. They have one good game, then they get injured. Yo, and I traded him Will Dissly. I got Odell Beckham. But wow. I gave him Dissly and Allen Robinson. So, but Dissly goes out. So, Akeem Talib, he goes on injured reserve. I don't know if he's going to be set to return injured reserve, but he's going off for ribs.
He's just old.
Yeah, he is old.
Yeah.
Chris Thompson, he goes out with a foot injury. Josh Gordon is out with a knee injury. He left the game real early, only after one catch.
One of my fantasy players.
Yep, and you traded something good for him too.
Yeah,
you did. So, but Josh Gordon is expected to play. But if you play fantasy, I would temper your expectations. Mayfield got injured. He finished the game, but he got a hip injury. They're saying that he should be good to go. Same thing, James Conner, shoulder and quad injury in the game. He went out once for a shoulder, the other for a quad. Once again, they're saying that he should be good to go.
Be out for the season.
No. What? Stop. I have him. And then Akeem Hicks is going to miss 8 weeks after elbow surgery. Oh, no, actually, I think he's going to avoid elbow surgery, but he'll still be out for 8 weeks. So, a lot of injuries there. And A lot of guys going down. So we'll see what happens with that in the future. But next we have the recap with my boy Ace.
The recap for the week. So we're going to go over the recap, and then after each game, I'm going to give you my MVP, my personal MVP of who I felt was the MVP.
I got you.
Other people might think it's different, but
this is AC's picks.
Yes. So the recap. Pats 35, New York Giants 14 on Thursday night. It was a great game. Pats D came to play. Offense was a little struggly, but hey, defense wins championship, offense wins ball games, and that's why you got a defense. Panthers played early at like 9 a.m. on Sunday, early morning game out in London.
Against Tampa Bay in London.
Against Tampa Bay. Panthers beat them 37-26. My MVP, who is the MVP of that game, was Kyle Allen, 22 of 31. 227 passing yards, 2 TDs, 0 interceptions, and he was sacked twice.
Boys balling.
And we're going to get to him later. Saints, 13, Jaguars, 6. My MVP of that game is Teddy Bridgewater, 24 of 36, 240, 1 TD, 0 interceptions, and he was sacked 3 times. Happens.
That's not him. That's not necessarily him. That's O-line.
Yeah. Vikings 28, the Eagles 20. That was a tough game. The score maybe look a lot more than what the game actually was, but that's like a rival game right there.
Yep.
And my MVP of that game is Cousins.
What?
I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay. Okay. He did ball out.
Cousins was 22 of 29, so he only missed 7 passes that game.
Wow.
He had 333, 4 TDs. He was sacked once. He had 1 intel. Now, my co-MVP, only reason why Cousins is my MVP is because back-to-back weeks, receivers yelled at him, and he answered.
You are right.
So that means he's hearing them. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the co-MVP, not to take anything away, because if there was the MVP of the whole game, it would be Stephon Diggs.
Yes.
But that's just my secret MVP was Cousins because, first of all, Diggs wanted to get traded early in the week. We was hearing trade. So now you feed him. Now he's happy.
Yep.
You know, the week before, it was my guy,
Adam Thielen.
Yep. He was mad. Quarterback, I got to get. Boom. He had a breakout game.
There it is.
But Diggs' numbers, he had 7 catches for 167, 3 TDs, and a 62-yard touchdown. The game of the week for me personally, who I love this game. A lot of people didn't probably had this game, but I loved it. It was the Washington Redskins. They won 17-16 over the Miami Dolphins.
Incredible.
It was I'm going to tell you a little bit about this game more than so give out an MVP because nobody did enough to have an MVP really. But Washington was winning 7-3 most of that game.
Yeah.
Then Miami puts up 13 points in the fourth quarter, and then they try to go for 2, and they fail. It was a great game, you know, and I was on the edge of my seat like, Washington. I love Washington. And that was just a game that I knew that they could win. So I was happy to see them win that game. Texans, 31. Kansas City Chiefs, 24. My MVP of that game was Carlos Hyde. He went off.
Yes, he did.
26 carries, 116 yards, and a touchdown. And he made he had a lot of big carries when the game was in the stretch to get them an extra first down to kill clock and stuff like that. So that's MVP worthy. Next up is the Ravens 23 versus the Cincinnati Bengals 17. And I'm going with the Ravens tight end. He had Andrews. Yeah, Andrews. He had eight targets, 6 catches and 99 yards. Even though he didn't score, 6 catches and 99 yards for a tight end is big for me. So you got the MVP of that one.
Worked out my fantasy league, tell you that much.
And then next up is, which is another great game Craig was sad about, but he was happy about, was the Seahawks versus the Browns. Seahawks won 32-28. Big Russ. I got to call him Big Russ this week.
Yeah, man.
He's Big Russ this week. Not Little Russ, not Russ.
Nah,
Big Russ this week.
I got you.
Big Russ went 23 of 33 for 295 and 2 TDs. And Baker Mayfield had a Baker Mayfield day. He threw 3 picks. 3 picks.
I mean, it was a trying game. He was getting the ball to ODB. Chubb was moving the ball, but you know, it just wasn't enough. This was an excellent game, man.
Yeah.
It was an excellent game.
Then my steal of the week. You guys always know I'm always happy when this guy wins, and that's my guy, Kyler Murray. They won 33. 34-33 over Atlanta. Atlanta can't catch a break.
Because they can't stop a sneeze, bro.
Yeah, Kyler was 20. Hit these stats right. Hear me out.
Yes.
27 of 37. 340.
Wow.
3 TDs.
Wow.
0 INTs.
Ooh.
And the biggest star of them all, he was sacked 0 times.
Wow. That's
See
amazing.
what happens when you give this man time?
Yeah, well.
And he ain't back there scared.
When you're also going up against one of the worst
it
defenses
doesn't matter
in the
who you're
NFL.
going versus. You're going versus an NFL team.
Yeah, this is true.
So therefore, my guy's normally running around with a chicken with his head cut off. Now he's feeling comfortable. He got swag. He got himself going.
Listen, I had
and
faith
he got a
in
big
him.
win.
I played him in my fantasy league, and he came through for me, 33 points. So I definitely put my trust in him, and this was an incredible game. This is probably the biggest win for him this year.
Biggest win, and it's good when he can get wins as a rookie because nobody has him winning nothing. So
exactly.
Denver beat the Tennessee Titans. That was a surprise, 16-0.
To keep him to a goose egg, man, that's huge. We're going to talk about that a little later, too.
And then Phillip Lindsay, he was my MVP that game. 15 attempts, 70 yards, and a TD. But when you win 16-0, you got to grind it out, and he grinded out for them. The surprise of the week. Biggest surprise you'll ever see.
New
York Jets, 24 versus the Cowgirls, 22. Whoa. We got to talk about this guy for a second. Dak Prescott, 28 of 40, 277, 0 TDs, 0 interceptions. But my MVP of that game was Sam Darnold. He went 23 for 32, 338 yards, 2 TDs, 1 intel, and he had mono.
Coming back from being sick.
And
just put Dak Prescott and the Cowboys on his knee and was just giving them the spanking of their life, yo. Like, I love Cowboys. Shout out to E-Dub.
They're the girls until we see a change.
Shout out to E-Dub. What's up with your team, bro?
What's going on?
So we'll see what happens with that, but damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then my boys, who only one that believes that my boys is Craig, because I kind of called this going on with them before the season. San Fran 20, Los Angeles Rams 7.
Yep. Wow.
My MVP of that game is a guy that you really like, Kittle, the tight end.
I love Kittle.
8 targets.
Yep.
8 catches.
Wow.
He had 103 yards, but he didn't score.
No
but
touch.
Still.
Yeah. So he still
get love from me.
He got me all the fantasy points I needed for me, bro. I appreciate you.
That's love.
Yeah, it is.
Another smack in the head. Pittsburgh 24, Chargers 7. Pittsburgh won with a 3rd string QB.
Wow.
3rd string.
3rd.
But they won.
But they dominated.
But I got a sidebar for you, because you know I always like to keep you on your P's and Q's.
Yeah, go ahead, do it.
Your guy Juju, 4 targets, 1 catch, 7 yards, 0 TDs.
But the MVP was also my guy.
You're begging for AB, but Juju, you got to step up and play big.
Yeah, man.
You want to be the man? This is the price you pay when you become the man. Whether you have a 1st string QB or a 3rd string. As long as you're winning ball games, that's all that matters, but you got to get stats too. Last but not least, it was a tough game on Monday Night Football.
Did we get an MVP?
Oh, I gave you. My fault. My MVP is a 3rd string quarterback, Hodges.
Oh, what? You don't give it to James Conner?
No, Hodges went out there as a 3rd string quarterback, went out there and got a win. Nobody in the world thought they was going to win with a 3rd string playing versus the Chargers, who just got beat down the previous week.
I mean,
so you got to give them
James Conner's got 2 touchdowns.
It doesn't matter. When you're a 3rd string quarterback in the NFL and you win a football game, you get love and respect from Ace.
Especially when you beat the Chargers.
Conner can go out there. Conner's done have games where he scored 2-3 touchdowns. That's not impressive to me. What's impressive to me, MVP worthy, is a 3rd string quarterback going out there beating the Chargers, who's supposed to be a Super Bowl / playoff team. So that's why he gets the love from me.
Touche.
And last but not least, the Green Bay Packers 23 and Detroit Lions 22. And I'm going with Williams in that. The backup running back from the Green Bay. 14 attempts.
Sliding to the butt.
104. Adams, you better wake up, brother, because your injuries, man, ain't going to help you.
Nope.
Because if you got the backup balling, they kind of push your injury along and keep you out. But that's the recap of the week. Those are my MVPs of the week. If you don't like it, it's okay. You can write a comment under Facebook and we can talk about it. If you do like it, you can hit the love button on Facebook, and I love you for it. Craig, question: how did you do this weekend? Picks of the week.
So I got. I do a quick little recap. I only got 4.
4.
So I was wrong about Green Bay versus Detroit. Detroit covered. I was right about New Orleans versus Jacksonville. I knew that was going to happen. That was obvious. I can't believe I was wrong about Kansas City. Kansas City was supposed to beat Houston. That didn't happen. Houston ball out. I was right about Seattle over Cleveland. I knew that was going to happen. Cleveland's terrible. I don't know how I was wrong about Washington. This makes me think that Washington actually does suck even more than I thought they did. I'm sorry that you like them.
I like them this week.
Yeah, this week. I feel you.
This week I like them. You already know. My teams change every week.
Yeah, so exactly. You
don't mind me.
You're non-committal.
Yes.
Then can't believe I was also wrong about Atlanta over Arizona. I thought that was a gimme. Dallas versus the Jets might be the biggest upset of the season. Tennessee over Denver. That could have gone either way. I'm still surprised. But I did get San Fran over the Rams. Rams were -3.5. And I was right about Minnesota over Philly, even though Philly got 3 points, bringing my total up to 4 and bringing my grand total up to 24. What about yourself?
Me, to save you guys the hassle, because me and Craig did pick a lot of the same teams this week. I went 4 for 6 myself. But what I was most mad about is, out of my losses, 3 of them could have been wins because I lost 2 to spread. It happens like that. One of my losses was I picked Green Bay over Detroit, but Green Bay won the game but didn't cover that 4.5 spread. Washington won the game but didn't cover that 3.5 spread. Baltimore won the game but didn't cover that 11.5 spread. So it's like those type of games we pick, but
we picked the right team.
They didn't win the spread, so it happens. But it's part of what it does. That's why it's a spread, and that's why it's fun.
So,
and that brings my grand total to what?
25.
25,
so
and you 24.
Continuing to be up by 1 point. So we'll see what happens next week. I got something for you. All right. Now, next on the news update is we have Michael Bennett suspended for a week for having a physiological disagreement with his position coach. Sounds pretty dumb. He's going to miss 1 week. No big deal. His snap count's gone down from 24 to 11 over the last 3 weeks. So not a huge loss for the Patriots.
I was wondering if they was talking politics or they was talking about money. What was they talking about to have that? But all in all, like a guy like Bennett, he's one of those. What's the best way I can put this for Bennett?
He's a loudmouth?
Not even a loudmouth. He's someone who believes in what he says. You get what I'm saying?
He's strong in his belief system.
In everything.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
So there's nothing wrong with that. You need players like that believe what they truly believe deep down inside. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking him for that. I think Bennett's an outstanding player. Mm-hmm. I think the Patriots need his energy in the locker room, whether his snap count goes from 24 to 11 to 7, you just need him with them. You get what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But as far as the suspension, it just seems like a whole bunch of big words for a little problem. And they just wanted to do something. And Patriots is good at, one thing I can say about the Patriots organization, they're good at setting an example. They don't care. It's called bar none with them. They don't care who you are. They will suspend you for 1 game, 2 games, 3 games. And it's like, they suspended one of their top dogs, one of their OGs on the team.
A Pro Bowler.
Yeah, so...
But they just had to smack the hand real quick.
So at the end of it's okay.
Yeah.
He's not losing out too much. Nope. It's okay.
He got a smack on the hand, and we'll see what happens in the future. And he did apologize for any disruption it cost his teammates and the fans. We talked about it a little bit, but let's just dive a little bit more into it. The Jets.
The Jets. Jets.
You know what I'm saying? Jets. I hate New York teams. Only city I hate teams from. It's been my blood. I can't help it. But Darnold comes back from mono. He faces the Cowboys, the kissing disease. Gotta talk to his girl and see what's going on there. But he comes back from the kissing disease. and he puts it on them. Puts it on the Cowboys. Now, granted, Cowboys lose their second best offensive weapon, and they lose one of their best defensive weapons. But at the end of the day, you're facing a team that hasn't won a game. So what's up here?
My take on this is, for the cowgirl friends out there, you get no slack from Ace. No slack at all.
No slack deserved.
Because I'm going to compare apples to oranges.
Yeah.
Now, Dak, you want all this money.
Yep.
Dak, you're not playing good ball for all this money. 0 TDs should not happen if you want all this money.
He's definitely down to $20 million now.
Yeah, maybe like 8 right now for me. On top of that, yes, we understand you lose your left guard, your offensive lineman or whatever, right tackle, left guard, whoever he was. But you have the best offensive line in the league.
Mm-hmm. Some people have the worst.
Next man up.
Yep.
That's what I believe in the NFL, and I would always believe in that because they're getting paid millions of dollars, and it's the next man up mentality. You have to have that. There is no excuses for the Cowboys. There's no excuses that Cowboy fans or Cowboys organization or anybody who like the Cowboys, there's no excuse that you can use to lose to a winless Jets team. Mm-hmm. We watch Monday Night Football. We watch what Aaron Rodgers did with nothing.
Yep.
He grinded it out. One on the last possession of the game and one with nothing.
Absolutely.
So that's why it's NFL. Next man up. We're giving MVPs to backup running backs out here. Not
and third-string quarterbacks.
And third-string quarterbacks.
You know?
That's why it's the next man up mentality.
Uh-huh.
Now you see why these guys is my MVPs. And then you got a guy who has a dominant team and
he can't
Cooper.
win. And
Cooper goes down. Oh, and I can't win without Cooper.
And they lost with Cooper.
Yeah.
And they lost with Crawford.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They lost with these players.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And then you came up against a team that should have been a flash in the pan. But this does go to what we said in the beginning of the season. With Sam Darnold there, Jets are dangerous.
Yes.
And that leads me to my next point is that they play Patriots next week. It's going to be a tough ball game.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a tough ball
We're going to get into that one. But
man.
I left that alone because, but yeah.
It's going to be a tough ball game.
Yeah.
And then I want to talk about this. You kind of touched on it a little bit. I want to touch on it more. Redskins beat the Dolphins by what I like to call pure luck. Stupid coaching. Miami Dolphins kick a field goal. The game goes into overtime, and we don't know who wins that game. Miami was on the comeback. They was on the comeback. They get themselves in scoring position. That coach made a boneheaded decision, and I don't understand what was going on there. You go for the field goal and you leave it and you leave it into the coin flip and you put your trust in. Because if you don't make the field goal, you lose. I mean, if you don't make the field goal, you lose. You don't make 2-point conversion, you lose. But if you make that field goal, now you have an opportunity to put the game away. To try to steal the game, that was stupid. You ain't got no wins.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
See, I agree to disagree on that situation.
Okay.
Because the reason why I agree to disagree with you on that is because the Black Hand says they have no wins.
Yeah.
They was losing 17-3 that whole game.
Yep.
Then you put up 13 points in the fourth to make it a 17-16 game.
Yep.
So now the White Hand starts talking, and the White Hand saying to the Black Hand, like, yo, you might not get a chance this close again to win a game. So, do I want to go in overtime and fight it out with this Washington Redskins team that's actually playing good football today? Or do I want to go for 2 and put another loss on my record and it's just 0-6? So, if that coach gets that 2-point conversion, then we're saying, oh, great play call. It was great. The Miami Dolphins got to win, and the Redskins still losing, and the Redskins got a tough schedule.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And we already read off their schedule and know that they got a lot of tough games after this one.
This is true.
But on the flip side of things, I kind of was happy to see the Redskins win due to the simple fact is I knew this was one of the only games that they would win in their next stretch of 5 or 6 games. That's the only reason why I jumped on their bandwagon this week and thought they was going to win. Now, to say it was a stupid call by Miami Dolphins, a team that don't got no wins, I would say no, because I probably wouldn't want to go in overtime anyways. But it also goes to the simple fact of, to answer your question a few weeks back, is Miami Dolphins really tanking?
Yes. Yes. And even still, if you're going to run a 2-point conversion play to give yourself your only victory of the season, I would think you would come up with something a little bit more creative.
I agree with you there.
Than what they did.
I agree with you totally.
So that was terrible, and I'm disappointed. So now we have 2 teams with no wins, Cincinnati and the Miami Dolphins. And now we have 2 teams with no losses, San Francisco 49ers and my New England Patriots. This is pretty cool. I think this is a cool little storyline going on in the NFL. I think we have a lot of things going on in the NFL that, some teams that were supposed to be dominant getting beat, teams that were supposed to be crap being dominant, and it's really exciting. Who do you think gets the next win?
All right, so I'm going to give you my rundown for each team.
Okay.
Aces rundown. So, you got San Fran playing versus Washington. Washington just got their first win last week.
Not getting another one.
Not getting another one. They're not going to. San Fran is too dominant. They got the second best D in the league. It's being respected now. Mm-hmm. A lot of people would sleep, but what woke me up with them is like I told Craig something a couple weeks ago was that we acted GM for every team in the NFL before the season started. And going into this the San Francisco team, I knew they had a lot of ballers. Mm-hmm. And they complemented their defense, bringing in guys that we don't like to talk about because they don't agree with what we agree with, so we ain't going to talk about them. But we'll just leave it there. But they're good. I think they're going to go on and be 6-0. The next up, you got the Dolphins versus Bills. Dolphins, it sucks to suck. You're playing versus the Bills that's coming off a bye week. They have rest.
And they have a great defense.
Great D. They're going to go out there and smoke them.
Yeah.
Because Bills ain't going to let up because that is a conference game, division. They're going to go out there and try to put up 50 on them. You already know that. Jacksonville's playing versus the 0-6 Bengals. I think if anybody has a chance to win this week, it will be the Bengals out of the teams that we're talking about.
Yeah, that is the best opportunity.
Jacksonville's all, I told you last week about Jacksonville, about your guy.
Yeah.
Do you really believe?
I do believe in Gardner Minshew, but if there was a chance for Cincinnati to win, it's going up against this game because their defense is playing like trash. And Cincinnati does have a decent offense. They have weapons that they can use. I think this will be a back-and-forth game.
And I think Jaguars just lost their identity. Their identity is defense. And now they've got their best defensive players going off the deep end. Mm-hmm. I think they're losing their identity as a team because their identity is defense. So you got to go back to your roots and get that team together. And you're not out of this. Jacksonville still got time to make a run.
I think there's problem in Jacksonville. I think there's some issues going on in the locker room.
Yeah, absolutely. You could tell. Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
and then New England 6-0 playing versus the 1-4 Jets. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
After watching what the Jets did, the Jets is a fearless team, and when they have their fearless leader at quarterback,
they're dangerous.
They're dangerous, and they're a team that could turn that switch on or they can turn that switch off. And just going off of last week's results,
if there could be an upset victory, it could be against this Jets team right now.
Absolutely.
I will say this though, they still have to score against this number 1 defense in the NFL. That's where I think we get into the muddy water. Is that they beat the Cowboys, but the Cowboys defense isn't even remotely on the same level as this Patriots defense. But I do believe that if there was an opportunity to win, it would be that because the Jets can stop the Patriots on offense.
Yes.
And the Patriots can stop the Jets with their defense. So
I think it's going to be like a
I think it's going to be a low-scoring game.
13-10 type of game type. Something like that.
I agree with you.
It's going to be a grind game, and the thing about it is, too, is...
And I think 13-10's high. I think it's going to be like a 10-3.
And what we're missing, too, is the Jets actually have a running back, which Patriots really haven't... Not to say that he's out there putting up crazy numbers, but the Patriots really haven't... We're not going to say play versus nobody because I hate saying that because it is the NFL. You're playing versus someone every week.
But we don't have a dominant running back. We don't. I mean, Sony Michel is okay.
No, what I'm going to say is the Patriots' run defense. Their run defense is good, but it's not as great as the Patriots' pass defense.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
I agree.
And with the New York Jets, if they have any game plan, their game plan should be let's run the ball. And if we're going to throw it, it's going to be 2 to 3 yard passes. We're not going down the field versus this defense. We're going to spread them apart, and we're going to dump it off dump and dime is the type of game we're playing here.
Le'Veon Bell, you about to wear down your cleats.
Yeah.
Huh, you about to wear down your cleats on Monday.
We're going to give you, if it was me, I'm giving him 40 carries, 35 carries that game.
Yeah.
That's the only way to beat them.
Yeah.
Only way.
Definitely.
Because if you're going to beat them, you think you're going to beat them in the air, it's not going to happen.
No, I can't imagine that. There was one team that got one play that was, it was a, I call it luck, because, we missed a bunch of tackles and they made their way to the end zone. That doesn't happen against the Patriots. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes down.
Yeah, but it's going to be a defensive fight, though, for sure.
All right, now we move on to Marcus Peters. Trade alert, baby. The Rams deal Marcus Peters to Baltimore. Mm-hmm. And real quickly, I have it right here.
I think that's a terrible trade.
You think it's a terrible trade?
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't give up much. They gave up Kenny. I forgot how you say it.
I know they didn't give up much.
They gave up a linebacker and a 5th-round pick.
Yeah, and I know that's not much for him.
Kenny Young.
Yeah, I know that's not much for him, but you got to know what Marcus Peters you're getting, too.
I mean, you're getting the guy who loves the color yellow.
That's what I'm saying.
He loves the color yellow.
In his first couple seasons, he was phenomenal.
Yeah, shut down corner.
And then, I don't know what happened. He just started getting flag after flag after flag. He couldn't be like a Jets in this NFL era. I don't know what it is.
I think that it is kind of what you think it is, but you just didn't say, you didn't finish it. You didn't finish it is that he was great. The competition has exceeded his skill level, and he's not ready to accept that. So when a guy's beating him, he grabs him. When the ball gets there and he knows he can't beat it, he's going over the top and he's creating penalties to make up for the fact that he doesn't have it in him anymore. He's not.
But some penalties are good though. Some penalties prevent touchdowns. Yeah, if you're a DB and you're preventing a touchdown, then take the. If I'm a coach, take that 15-yarder all day, or take that spot foul all day.
I don't care if it goes to the 1-yard line.
Yeah.
If you stop that touchdown, then okay. But sometimes he gets penalties just because he doesn't want to get beat, and I think that he wants to play as a man corner, and he's no longer that.
No.
He needs that free safety over the top, and I just don't think he has it anymore. But I do like this trade in the simple fact that Baltimore has been struggling against the pass, and even though he's not at that same level with the quality that this defense has, I think that he can. It's still gonna work out.
Yeah, me personally, I don't really like the trade because you don't know what Marcus Peters you're getting, and you don't want a guy going over there messing up what they got going on over there.
This is also true.
That's why I don't like it, but personally, if he goes there with a great attitude and balls up, then I love it because if he's in Baltimore's defense is always going to be one of the top defense in the league just by their coordinator.
And he's on a team that was doing this. And now he goes to a team that's doing this.
Yeah, and like you said, if you put him in a zone coverage, I love him in a zone, but man to man, he don't got that same speed anymore.
Exactly. So we'll see what happens with that. Kansas City and Dallas lose back-to-back games. We really dove into the Dallas situation, but what's going on with Kansas City, man? They're losing back-to-back games. They got a tough matchup this week going up against Denver.
Well, Dallas is different because they lost back-to-back weeks.
Oh yeah, 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
And they're looking at 4. They're going up against Philly.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like they beat Giant. Now, let's dive into Dallas a little bit. They beat the Giants week 1, 35-17. Week 2, they beat the Redskins 31-21. Those two teams ain't even playoff teams right now.
No, they beat bad teams.
Then week 3, they played Miami and beat them 31-6. Another non-playoff team. A playoff team, Saints, you lose to them 12-10 in a game that Drew Brees goes out.
Yeah.
Then week 5, they lose to Green Bay. No, did they lose to Green Bay?
Yeah, it was Green Bay.
Yeah, they lose to Green Bay.
Yep.
34-24. They lose to Green Bay.
Yep.
They lose to the Jets 24-22. Then you're playing you're playing Philly in week 7. It's like
a team with a strong defense and a fully loaded offense.
And you know what's good for Dallas? The only good thing for Dallas right now is this. Regardless, win or lose, week 8 they have a bye. And it's a well-needed bye for them.
Oh, man, they desperate for that bye week.
Now I'm kind of like, the more we talk about Dallas, is it a coaching issue?
Oh, it is absolutely a coaching issue. Jay Garrett is a terrible coach. He is a terrible coach. You got the best offensive line in the NFL. You have arguably, if not the best, a top 5 running back. You just got yourself what I believe to be a top 10 wide receiver. You got a veteran tight end who returned to your team, and a fairly decent defense. Why are you not undefeated right now? Why are you not one of the teams we're talking about is undefeated? Because your coach is terrible. Boot that man right now.
Right now.
Right now. Call on somebody who knows what they're doing. I'll come coach.
Yes.
And I'll do a better job. We'll co-coach. And I bet you we win more games than Garrett does.
And then now we can dive into KC. KC's tough. KC lost to the Texans 31-24. Mm-hmm. Lost to the coach 19-13.
Yeah.
I think me and you was the only people who thought they had a chance in that game.
Yeah.
Because of Brissett. And that's when nobody really knew what he was doing.
Yeah. It was early.
It was early. Last one was against Detroit. They're playing the Broncos in a short week. This week for them. Because it's on a Thursday night game.
Yeah.
And then they play Packers next week. The week after, next week they play the Packers.
Damn.
Then the Vikings, and then the bye. So it's like,
oh man, so they
gotta go at least one or two or 2 out of 3 in that.
Denver seems like the only game that I don't think they can beat Green Bay. I don't think Mahomes can beat Green Bay. That defense is too tough. And their offense is too weak.
I think out of those teams, I think he can go 3-0 in those games, but at the end of the day,
Denver just beat the Chargers.
But
and
Denver's
Chargers,
all D.
Yeah, but Chargers defense is better than Kansas City.
I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying out of these games, I think after losing 2, and then to go play, like we knew. This is why I said that they wasn't going to last long last week to be undefeated, because they was going through the tough part, the tough patch of their schedule.
You called it a Patriots.
You get what I'm saying?
You did.
So
we thought
they might have lost this game. They might have lost this game looking forward to Denver, or they could have just outright lost. But now you got to play Denver. Now you can't look into the next week or the next week, because every week for the next 3 weeks is all good teams. Yeah, so you can't be like, I got an easy one this one. No, it's harder, hardest. You get what I'm saying? Like,
and 2 losses right now in this conference is a lot of losses.
A lot of losses.
Now. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Let's talk about the top 4 teams in the NFL.
Whew, I like this.
AFC, NFC. I'm gonna give you go. You start. Let's do AFC.
AFC. No brainer. Pats number 1.
Pats number 1. Same here.
My second favorite team will be Houston.
Houston, huh?
Houston coming off a big win to KC.
Yep.
You got to put them there. They've been playing great ball. The games that they lost was tough games that they lost. They didn't get they only got 1 loss, right? Maybe 2? Houston got one loss. One loss, yeah.
1 loss.
So, boom, a 1-loss team. I like them a lot. I like them as a number 2. And then my 3 and 4 team would be KC Baltimore. I don't know which my number 3 team could be KC or Baltimore, depending on how I feel or how I wake up that day. Yep. It could be either one. But the top 2 teams by far in the AFC is Pats and Houston. For the NFC, I'm going New Orleans. And I'm going San Fran. San Fran's number 1, but New Orleans is number 2. And then under New Orleans, I got Green Bay as a slight 2A/2B type of deal. And that's where I'm at with it.
We're like spot on with each other. For me, it's New England and Baltimore.
Okay.
I think Lamar Jackson has just gotten started. I think he's going to continue that run. Even though I like what's going on with Houston and Deshaun Watson, I really like what's going on over there. But I think Baltimore with their run game has the edge.
Over the edge over Houston?
Yeah.
Houston's offense is way better than
the
Baltimore.
Run game. Mark Ingram versus Carlos Hyde. You'd rather have Carlos Hyde over Mark Ingram.
Carlos Hyde's coming off a 100-yard performance.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying. I'm just
saying. Mark Ingram is scoring touchdowns. Mark Ingram's been way more consistent over this season. And then, I mean, if we're talking about consistency, Lamar Jackson has been more consistent than Deshaun Watson. Not in victories, but in performances. His performance
running,
huh?
Running.
Running and passing.
How about this? look at the teams that Baltimore face and look at the teams that Houston face.
I'd have to look at that. I'd have to see that to see because I know they had at least two of the games Baltimore had were easy.
Lollipop games.
Yeah.
3.
But I do have Houston as the number 3, and then Kansas City's number 4 in my opinion. But over in the AFC, I do agree with you.
NFC,
San Fran.
right?
NFC. Yep. NFC, San Fran is number 1, but I got Green Bay as number 2. I think that the problem with New Orleans is New Orleans should be number 2, but yeah, Teddy Bridgewater is balling out of control. He's undefeated as a backup quarterback, but then you got to transition back to Drew Brees, and I don't like that. I don't like when you shift quarterbacks like that. I think it really messes with a team dynamic, and I think that can cause a problem.
But what you got to understand is, I don't think when Drew Brees comes back, that's not messing anything up because that team is built and that chemistry is built around Drew Brees.
Yeah.
So that's not going to change. But you got to shout out. Only reason why I got New Orleans as my number 2 team in the NFC is because you got to shout out to what they're doing. Because you was one of the non-believers that said they will not make the playoffs with Drew Brees hurt.
Yes.
That team has been sitting undefeated since Drew Brees been hurt.
Correct.
Green Bay's been playing with their same team. Yes, they go through injuries on offense.
Only one loss.
But that's something. The injuries that they're suffering on offense is something that Aaron Rodgers is used to playing with his whole career.
Yeah.
So if you're telling me a wake-up team, a team who's actually surprising you week to week, would be New Orleans.
Oh, New Orleans is more
and that's
surprising.
why I put them on number 2. But that's why I said 2A, 2B. They're neck to neck. It's just what you like or what you prefer. Exactly. If you like a quarterback to go out there and go gung-ho and grind it out and win, you like Green Bay. Mm-hmm. If you like more of a complete team that might put up fireworks, that everybody's playing together and they feed off each other, then you're going to like New Orleans.
This is true. And I'm also struggling where I like the Eagles and I also like Minnesota. Philly and Minnesota are 2 teams I think can also edge their way into that top 4 position. But
the thing with the NFC, it's so tough because of the simple fact is we're on week 7?
Mm-hmm. Well, we're going into week 7.
We're going into week 7. If we take a look at this again in week 11, this all will change.
Oh, it's going to change.
But in the AFC, it won't change much.
No.
It would only 1 or 2 teams. But
actually, to be honest with you, I don't think I think the top 4 teams we mentioned, because we mentioned the same top 4 teams.
Yep.
I think that's going to stay the same till the end of the season. I think what we think here in the NFC,
it's going to go.
Yeah, it could flip.
It's going to flip.
Because
it's going to flip.
San Fran, they could fall off a cliff.
Absolutely agree with you.
New Orleans.
They're going to go to the playoffs regardless, but their records really don't matter.
Yeah, they could escalate even higher than they're at right now. Whether it's Minnesota, Philly,
Green Bay.
Yeah, Green Bay. Any of those things can change. I think that, to me, in my opinion, New Orleans and Green Bay are the 2 most solid teams. But right now, San Fran's on a tear, and you can't take nothing away from them until they start losing.
But I think, and that's in the NFC, I think San Fran's the most complete team. If you ask me. Most complete team. Yes. They have the best defense in the NFC.
They do.
Their offense moves the ball and scores points.
Even though they have no number 1 wide receiver.
No number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
But Jimmy G somehow is moving that ball.
I mean,
Beretta's playing out of his. What's his name? I always call him Beretta. I always call him Beretta like the gun.
The Beretta Breda.
Yeah, Beretta Breda like the gun. But he's playing out of his mind.
Yeah, he is. He's
you get what I'm saying? And it's like.
And Tevin Coleman's back now, and he's playing too.
And they're showing you don't need a number 1 receiver when you have a good run game.
Yep.
That's why these running backs need to be paid more.
And technically, all their running backs are backup running backs too. It's a team full of San Fran is the backups.
Yeah,
we got the San Francisco backups, and they're killing it. The only thing they have at number 1 is their defensive line. They're all first-round draft picks
and a couple linebackers too.
Yeah, so
their defense is all number 1 draft picks.
Yeah, they just got so many draft picks at number 1.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that. Let's get balling out of here and talk about the slow start of the return of Melvin Gordon. I'm a little disappointed. I thought he was going to hit the ground running. Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott took off the entire offseason and he hit the ground running. And Melvin Gordon seems like he's not hitting the ground running. I don't know if it's bad play calling, bad offensive line. What do you think?
Well, I look at it like this. And you
Austin
can't.
Eckler did it.
Yeah, but you can't use that excuse because he did it during preseason and stuff like that.
True.
now it's the real season, this real deal. He only had 8 carries for 18 yards.
Oh.
So they only gave Melvin Gordon 8 carries last game. But he had 3 catches for 30 yards. So he's not
getting his touches yet.
He's getting himself, it's called conditioning. Even though you've been out that long, they still going to condition you, whereas they're not going to be like, oh, Craig, you're injured, you're on injured reserve, you can't come back fully. Like, no, they're going to put you out there and give you some plays to get your feet wet, get your breathing down pat.
Yeah, you got to get
in 2 to 3 weeks, in 2 to 3 weeks, he's going to be okay. Mm-hmm. But the problem with Melvin Gordon's problem is the Chargers is already going downhill. So it makes it look bad with him there, too. But at the end of the day, Chargers is a team that can turn it around. They can turn it around, and they got to turn it around. But his slow start, I wouldn't really say it's him. I would really say it's his conditioning. He got to get back into football shape.
Yep.
So once he gets back into football shape, he'll be fine because he's still catching passes out the backfield, stuff like that. He's doing what he was doing before, but he just ain't putting up as much numbers. But those numbers will come. Give him a couple of weeks, those numbers will come.
All right, let's see what happens. Real quickly, we're not going to waste a lot of time on this guy, but Antonio Brown wants to play football, and he said, if you're going to pay me, you might as well play me. Do you agree with that statement?
No, not with him.
No, not with him?
Nope.
I agree with you and I disagree with you at the same time. The guy who wants to win thinks we need a wide receiver. The guy who says you were given a great opportunity and you blew it. Now, you haven't had any issues since that happened, but I don't know if I can trust you now. You're my favorite wide receiver. I don't know if I can trust you. But we'll see how that plays out. I don't think it happens. I think he might get signed to a team by week 10, but maybe not even that.
Once he gets signed to a team, they're going to probably suspend him.
Oh, valid.
That's what's going to happen to him.
Valid.
They're going to let him think that he's coming back, and then boom. NFL's not paying him no more money right now this year. Yeah. He's done.
Yeah.
And you already did your grievances and all that. You're done. Yeah. Same thing that happened to my boy, Cap. He's done.
He's done.
He blackballed the NFL. AB's career is over.
There it is. All right, now a topic we've been looking forward to talking about. We moved it up a few slots. Is 2 questions for us. Should the Carolina Panthers trade Cam Newton in light of the excellent play of Kyle Allen? And if they should trade him, where should they trade him to? Trade or no trade? Trade. Where should he go? Before you say, give me 2 teams.
2 teams.
2 teams you think should make the move to get Cam Newton.
1 team, Chicago Bears.
Oof, good one.
Number 2 team, Denver Broncos.
Good team. 2 teams that, one, would help them get into the playoffs once he's healthy. I think
Cam Newton can go to Chicago, he can bring them to the Super Bowl. Because we already said that's what they're missing over there. Chicago's only missing a quarterback. Yep. Their defense can't play and keep teams at 14 points or under 21 points every week, and you're only putting up 6 points, 8 points, 9 points.
And if your offense is constantly going 3 and out, your defense gets tired anyway. So I agree with you. My teams I like Cincinnati. I don't think it's going to help them this year, but I think he comes back. He starts to bring that fun back to that team and that winning spirit back. And then next year, they're playoff contenders. They don't have to work as much on offense. They can work on defense. And they can build up that defense with the whole draft. Their whole draft can be defense.
But that's why I was thinking about teams that he can I was thinking about teams where he can go in, play right away, and change that team.
Impact, yeah.
And that's why I said Denver, too, because Denver's missing a quarterback. Mm-hmm. Another team, strong defense. Defense is winning them games, and they got arguably a top 15 receiver, top 10 receiver over there, Sanders. You got a good running back, Phillip Lindsay, who's toting the rock, averaging 80 to 100 yards a game.
And with Cam Newton, it'd be a big change.
A big change.
Big change.
That's why I picked those 2 teams, because I feel like he could.
My second team, I think you might like this. You might not. You might like it. I think it's a 3-way trade. I think the Panthers send Cam Newton to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay sends Jameis Winston to, say, Cincinnati, Miami, wherever. Whatever team wants to be part of that little trade. Cam Newton with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. and then the rising talent of Ronald Jones at running back, and possibly the resurgence of, because he loves his tight ends, the resurgence of O.J. Howard. Could you imagine Cam Newton with the offense of Tampa Bay? I think, and Bruce Arians coaching Cam Newton. I think that Tampa Bay jumps into playoff contention. They go from a team that's not going to make the playoffs to a team that makes the playoffs and could surprise everybody and make it to the bowl game with Cam Newton at the helm.
I like that.
That's a team that needs someone like Cam Newton.
You know, I like the unorthodox stuff.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I like that.
So I think that would be cool. So we'll see what happens. We got to keep moving. And should the Tennessee Titans bench Marcus Mariota and start Ryan Tannehill?
Yes.
Yes. Marcus Mariota's had his chance. We've said this before.
His time's up.
His time is up.
I told you that.
Yeah, we both said it.
Time's up.
Mariota has not lived up to his potential. Number 2 overall pick. He has not lived up to it. It's time to move on from this guy. He's a backup quarterback.
Yes.
All right. Now let's run through our top 10 picks of the week.
Okay.
You go.
All right, top 10 pick of the week. I got KC -3 over Denver. I got Texans +1.5 over the Colts. I got Minnesota -1 against Detroit. I got San Fran -10 versus Washington. I got Arizona getting 3 points to the New York Giants. I got Jacksonville -3.5 to the Cincinnati Bengals. I got Green Bay -6 to the Raiders. I got the Ravens +3.5 to the Seahawks. I got the Saints +3 against the Bears. And I got Philly +3 against Dallas.
Okay, we got a few of that. We got a lot of the same here.
I took the underdogs because I think now after what we saw the last 2 weeks, nobody in the NFL is scared anymore.
No. So, but I switched it up. I got Denver.
Okay.
I'm going Denver over Kansas City. So I'm switching that on you. I got Jacksonville over Cincinnati. I got Buffalo over Miami, 17-point spread. I got the Rams taking out Atlanta. I got the Giants taking out Arizona. I got San Fran taking out Washington. I got New Orleans beating Chicago. I got Philly dominating Dallas. I took the risk, and even though we said what we said, I'm taking New England over the spread because they've always covered, except for Buffalo. And then I'm taking Minnesota over Detroit. All right, let's bang out top 5 games of the week. I'm going to let you do all 5 of yours first.
Okay, my top 5 games of the week is the Chiefs versus Broncos. I picked that top 5 game because the Chiefs going to go 3 losses.
Such big implications in that game.
Yep. Arizona versus the Giants.
Yes.
I love that game. I think that game is going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be sky high, and I think my guy Kyler Murray is going to come to perform just because he hears the whispers. He hears the voices. That Giants quarterback over there is not better than him. Kyler Murray's actually throwing the ball down the field. That Giants quarterback's throwing 5 to 10-yard passes, letting his receivers do the work.
There it is.
Kyler Murray's going to come and perform. Next up, I got the Texans versus the Colts. I just think that's going to be a hell of a game. If the Texans could win that game, that solidifies the number 2 spot for them in the AFC. And there's no bar none, no arguments if they win that game. And Colts is coming off a bye week, so I know they're going to be well prepared and ready to go. Ravens versus Seahawks. Yep. I think that's going to be another defensive battle. I think that game might be a low-scoring game. I think depending on the quarterbacks, because they both got the same exact style, I'm saying it's going to be a low-scoring game, but it could be a high-scoring.
It could be high.
Depending on how they do. Because, once one gets running, the other one's going to get running. If one's passing, the other one's going to pass. So they kind of feed off each other when they play versus each other.
Yeah. Amen.
The next up, I got the Saints versus the Bears.
Wow, nice.
Saints versus the Bears. I think that's going to be a showdown of the showdowns. I said a couple weeks ago, let's see if the New Orleans Saints is for real. I think they're for real. I think they're playing for real. But I think if they lose this game versus the Bears, that doesn't hurt because the Bears is a great team and they got a great defense. So this is kind of like a wash game for the Saints. If they win, that gives them even more momentum.
But the Bears still have the backup quarterback in, and New Orleans Saints defense, man, that's a good defense.
Yeah.
They put in it 2 people. They put it to there was a low scoring game against Dallas when they won.
And that's why I say it's kind of like a wash game because if the Saints go out there and win, okay. Now you're thriving off of all your energy, everything. But if you lose, it's not a bad loss because your
'cause
backup quarterback only got one loss.
You expected your backup quarterback to lose half of his games.
Yeah.
And now he hasn't. It's okay to lose one.
It's okay to lose one. And then last up is
Wait, that was 5.
No, that
1,
was
2, 3, 4, 5.
No, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and my last one for good luck.
You stole one. Go
It's
ahead.
Craig's team, Pats vs. Jets.
All right. So, Detroit versus Minnesota, divisional matchup. I think this is going to be a
Wait, do your thing first. There's 10.
Yeah, I'm doing. Wait, my 10.
Yeah.
I know I did my 10.
Against the spread.
I did my 10 against the spread.
Oh, yeah, you did.
I did.
Sorry, I'm tripping.
Detroit versus Minnesota, divisional matchup. I think this is going to be a hard-fought game. I think it's going to be an exciting game. I think it's going to go right down to the fourth quarter. Rams versus Atlanta. Both teams now have have awful defenses because the Rams have lost both their cornerbacks. So I think this is going to be a high-flying game. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. And I think it's going to be an exciting, fun game to watch, a fans game. Oakland versus Denver, another divisional matchup. I think this is going to be a game that's going to be worth watching. I think it's going to go back and forth all day long. And then I have, it was Oakland versus Green Bay, and I think that's going to be a good game.
Yep.
Eagles versus Dallas, it's a divisional matchup, so Dallas got to play hard, but I think the Eagles are just going to destroy Dallas, and Dallas is going to go 0-4, 4 losses in a row. Jacksonville versus Cincinnati. Like I said, this is the one game that Cincinnati can win. And Jaguars don't want to lose another game. This is going to be a hard-fought game. It's going to be primarily offense. And I think that this, like we said earlier, this is the one game Cincinnati could win. And then, New England versus the Jets is always going to be, New England game's always going to be for me. But I had to put Miami versus Buffalo because even though Buffalo's defense strong, they're coming off a bye week, they're healthy, Miami got a sniff of victory. I think they're gonna fight hard. It's a divisional matchup. They're like, is that a victory? No, it got taken away.
I just think with Buffalo is the type of team Buffalo is the type of team that they're going to try to beat you by 50 every night. So when you get a chance to beat them by 50, you got to. And I just think in this type of game, that's what's going to happen because Buffalo is actually surprising people with one loss.
Yeah,
People's not talking about them too much. And they're under the radar just balling.
And this is
They
crazy.
got a couple of Clemson boys on that D-line, too.
They got the same record as Green Bay, man.
Yeah.
That's craziness. And then we also have a little bit, Lamar Jackson is on pace to break the single-season rushing record for a quarterback.
Who has that?
Cam Newton.
Yep.
He's on course to break that. So I'd be excited to see if he can break it. See how that goes. He's balling out of control, running the ball.
Records are meant to be broken, though. So
we'll see what happens.
I wish it was a passing record he had that he was breaking as a quarterback.
He ain't breaking no passing records, man. He ain't never going to break no passing records. And just because I want to throw this bit of information out there, I said if we had enough time, we got 1 minute to do it, is that there's a trade rumor that the Patriots could try to trade Michael Bennett for Mohamed Sanu. We are in desperate need of a wide receiver, and I think Mohamed Sanu could fit right into our system. I don't know if that's going to happen, but Atlanta's defense sucks. They need someone like Michael Bennett, and we need someone like Mohamed Sanu. And as little as we play Michael Bennett, it makes a whole lot of sense.
For me, I think we need to go back to episode 5 or 6, because we're on episode what?
We're on episode 25, 26.
We're on episode 26. So go back 20 episodes ago when I was acting GM of the Atlanta Falcons, and I was giving this guy Sanu so much credit, and Craig had his chopper at me. But all of a sudden, Sanu might, quote-unquote, be a Patriot. Now his chopper's tucked away, and he's Sanu this, Sanu that. I try to tell Craig, Sanu's the man in Atlanta. Why he's the man of Atlanta is because you already got Julio there, and Julio goes through double teams. Sanu steps up and really steps up. And I try to tell him about them boys, but now he's a believer. Now he went to YouTube and YouTube Sanu and started watching clips and all that.
I urge every single fan of ours, I urge you as well, to comb the tapes and find something where Craig said he did not believe in Mohamed Sanu. Because you want to know something? I actually do remember, and it was the episode where we talked about, it wasn't the episode we talked about GM. We talked about the top wide receiver duos or trios.
And
when you said Atlanta, you said Julio and Calvin Ridley, and I said, wow, I'm surprised you didn't say Mohamed Sanu. I remember it now. I said, why didn't you say Mohamed Sanu? And I don't think you said anything bad about Mohamed Sanu, but I've liked Mohamed Sanu since he was on Cincinnati, bro. And I urge you to find that tape, and I will put the clip on the TV.
Yes, we're going to roll this tape, and we're going to have Craig looking salty.
If you got me dissing him, I'll put it on. I'll put the clip on the TV, and I'll give you that one. We are fresh out of time. The buzzer went off. So make sure you check out all of our shows on Gym Bag Entertainment on YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe. And until next week, we'll see you in the end zone. Have a good night.